I'm so pleased to be joined today by Professor and Dr. James Wilson, who is a professor of entrepreneurial thinking and innovative practice at Bay Path University. And we are thrilled to have him teaching with us in the HELOS program, the Doctorate of Higher Ed Leadership and Organizational Studies, and also doing a number of projects with us through CHELO, the Center for Higher Ed Leadership and Innovative Practice. So welcome to the Ingenious You community, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you, Melissa, so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us what you are teaching in the HELOS program, and also maybe what are you teaching in the MBA program, which is, I know, your faculty home at Bay Path.
Yes, so in the HELOS program, I'm teaching entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial thinking, and innovative practices in higher education. So we're looking at all the various tools from all the various management scholars that are out there: Blue Ocean Strategy, Michael Porter, Anzoff, Lean Startup, Business Model Canvas. We're trying to bring all those to bear on the world of education. In the MBA program, I teach managing innovation, which also uses those tools. I teach business analytics, which is very quantitative with some qualitative cases. And I teach the capstone course in strategic analytics in the MBA program. And I'm also involved in the program with digital transformation, with all the great changes coming in that world. I'm putting together a certificate in that particular program.
In the course that you teach in the HELOS program, I know you do something a little unique involving a very well-known higher education author and thinker. So do you want to say a little bit about what it is?
Yes, I've been very fortunate, thanks to your connections, to work with David Staley, who wrote Alternative Universities. David's a historian, a futurist, a philosopher of sorts. And what we've done in the HELOS program, and this is the second year we've done it, is we've taken one of his alternative universities, the micro college as we're looking at it now, and can we actually build it, right? So we look at its desirability. Do people want this? Its feasibility, how can it be done? And its sustainability, can it support itself financially? Students, they're small classes, so there's a lot of interaction, and David attends. I get the students up to speed on the tools, and then halfway through the course, David arrives, with much fanfare, and then we have a seminar where we toss ideas around, and it's a very egalitarian setting, so people feel very comfortable about talking about ideas. And we've built a prospectus for a micro college, and now we're refining it to see if we can grow it.
It's a great segue to my next question, which is to tell us how students would describe the experience of being in your classroom. And I think what you've just described is all very good, but how would they describe you as the facilitator of the learning experience?
So, it's hard to be completely self-reflective, of course, but I think I bring a lot of humor into the environment to make people feel comfortable. Building things and making things is fraught with trial and error. You've got to enjoy the error as much as the success. So we try to bring people into the thinking. Listening is, Professor Wilson listens. I take very seriously what people say. I take a lot of notes during the class in terms of what people are saying and try to bring it back and fulfill it. I also I play the role of a facilitator mostly. And I also like to summarize what happens at the end of the class. Part of inventing is building the minimum viable product. And since we're not actually making stuff with widgets, coming up with, well, what did we all agree to? What does this next version of this look like? And what's nice is when you go through a series of courses, you sort of see this list of value start to develop after a lot of serious discussion about what could work and couldn't work. So facilitator, humorous, egalitarian, challenging.
Tell us what you like about teaching in the HELOS program. So you're working with doctoral students, which is a little different from the other teaching that you're doing in the MBA program. So what sets our HELOS students apart? What do you enjoy most about teaching
Doctoral
them?
students are like self-starting, confident, a sense of this is what they're doing. They're comfortable with their thinking. They're much more comfortable discussing, which is fabulous for a professor to have students who are conversant. So I find the doctoral students wonderful, and their work is also, they write well. They know how to put things together.
Tell us a little bit about your professional interests. What are some of the things that engage your mind and your creativity professionally?
I'm very interested in the process of invention and bringing an idea to fruition. It turns out it's a complicated process. It's a little bit of hand-to-hand combat. You've got to have the right temperament for it. But there's nothing more exciting for me, and when other people are involved, I see it in them, is the enthusiasm of creating something new, seeing the value in something and trying to make it happen. Invention is a wonderful thing. Creativity is a wonderful thing. There are so many problems to solve out there, Melissa. And so we need to engage people to feel comfortable solving things. And so I like creativity, invention, innovation. They're all a little bit different in definition. I like to look through a whole range of different industries. I've looked at the silk industries. I've looked at coffee. I've looked at respirators. I've looked at hospitals. All of them present so many opportunities to innovate. And education is one of them. Lots of places for us to look at the customer journey and the value chain, and how do we take that all apart and make sense of it. And now with the digital transformation, there's so many more interesting, or not more interesting, but interesting opportunities to invent.
So what do you do for fun, Dr. Wilson, when you're not teaching and engaged in professional pursuits? What do you like to do?
Yeah, so I like to get out of the house. And part of it is I do a lot of cycling, I do a lot of hiking, do a lot of walking. So that's sort of the out of the house activity. I just got a new Mini Cooper. So that's given me a whole new set of wheels and excitement to get on the road with that. And then in-house, I guess you'd say, I love making cocktails. I love cooking. I love entertaining. And I'm a novice guitar player, but I love it so much.
So let me end with this question. What would you tell prospective students about the HELOS program? Why do you think, as an academic, as an educator, as somebody who's had a career in higher ed, why do you think they should consider the HELOS program?
Well, the HELOS program is, for one thing, your fellow classmates are exceptional. So a big part of a doctoral program is the cohort that you're with. And it's very tight, very connected, very supportive. And I've seen that in the students. They generally care and love each other, respect each other, hear each other. So being in that cohort is a very, experiencing that through the time you're in the program is key, beneficial, will stay with you. The other thing is that it's an innovative program, right? It's interested in innovation. It's interested in it's interested in leadership, but it's interested with the idea of creating something new, something beneficial, something that has value. And so all the pieces of the program have that focus to sort of drive people back to making it better. It's not just about efficiency. It's not just about effectiveness. Of course, those matter. But it's also about doing something new, doing something different, differentiating, creating new value. That's exciting. Not all doctoral programs are like that.
Well, thank you so much for your insights. Appreciate your time. And of course, we are so grateful for your involvement in the HELOS program.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. And it's an honor and a pleasure to participate.